Good morning, everyone. I'm Lola Wrist with LolaWrist.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I have kind of been missing in action for about 3 weeks. And I am getting us back online, and if you'll give me a minute, because, you know, when you haven't done it for a little bit, you kind of forget. So, that should be it. Okay, just pulling up Facebook Live, and there it is. Okay. And then the volume will go up. All right, I think we're ready to start. Okay, so we have been gone for a couple of weeks. Good morning, Jonna. Nice to have you with me, my friend. We have been gone for 2 weeks in October to Europe. And then we came back and I was just on a roll. I was good. And then all of a sudden I got sick. And I came down with an infection and then medicine, had allergies, reactions, allergic reactions to meds and stuff. So it's been just really weird. So then I turned around and then I started having heart racing. And I'm like, this has never been anything I have ever endured before, ever. So then they had me doing multiple tests and things. And quite honestly, we still don't know what's happening. But I know that it's gotten better. I know that it's not nearly as high as it was when I first brought it to everybody's attention. So we continue to push on and see if we can figure out what is causing it. And I will be in and out with tests, but I know that we're in a pretty good spot at this point. And I want you to know that we went to the Chiefs game yesterday, and I was under the understanding that I had to promise I would behave myself. And I did. I watched that whole game and I never yelled. I never got aggravated. I hung in there. And during the whole situation, if you watch the game and you watch the touchdown and then the 2-point conversion that took 3 tries to do because of penalties right and left, I want you to know my heart rate was like 83 or 84, 83 or 86. I don't know which one, but it was like, I'm like, yeah, I'm cool here. I'm hanging in there. So anyhow, we're on the right road right at this moment. So what we're going to do is a frame today. I wasn't even sure, depending upon how late it was going to be, if I'd be able to get up and get something together for you, but it all kind of fell into place. So we're going to do a frame. I love frames, but just because I'm doing this as a frame does not mean that what I'm doing cannot be transferred over into a card. Okay. Now, this is one that I have had up all summer because I just absolutely love this frame, but it is time to get rid of pansies. So it's time to take these out. I am a big frame person. I love to go to Hobby Lobby, or really I have better luck at Michael's. I go in there and I start looking, and Michael's has a lot of frames on, they put them on sale all the time. Buy one, get one free. Buy one, get one 50% off. Buy one, get one 99 cents. So I'm just constantly looking for something different that I can do. So this was a 5x5 frame. Very, very plain, nothing to it. You could probably, I think they said you can go to the Dollar Tree, and I think Dollar Tree has some 5x5 frames or 4x4s. That would work. So, just keep that in mind, that you can find your frames relatively cheap. So Stampin' Up! Has rolled out a new, and by the way, I do not see comments up on my computer, so I will have to come back and answer the comments after the fact. I'm not sure what I did that I don't see the comments, and then once my phone is angled down, I can't see. They have come out with a new suite, parts of which will be carried over to the mini catalog in January. Some is not available after it's sold out. So you want to pay close attention to what is available, what is not available. So this right here is the paper, and this is going to be only available while supplies last. And I think it's really beautiful. It's called Fitting Florets. It has the colors of Balmy Blue, Blushing Bride, Crushed Curry, Evening Evergreen, Night of Navy, Polished Pink, and Soft Succulent. If anything's got Soft Succulent and Evening Evergreen, it's going to be beautiful, okay? So there's one image, but isn't that a beautiful image? I love the florals. And I think a few of our flowers are cut out from the DSP. They will cut from the DSP with dies. So we have that one and that one. Those are pretty together. And this one, which I look at that and I can see that would be a great man's card. But it would also pair with that. Okay. Here's one. Ooh, I like that. And I like that with that. Okay. Then you flip it over and there's your polished pink. We're back to this one that I've already showed. This is one that I'm using today. And on the back side, it's that. And those blues with these soft succulent and evening evergreen colors are beautiful. Just beautiful. I think we have a couple more pieces. So here's one. Okay, there's your Blushing Bride. And flip it over. And this is like the favorite piece for a lot of people. It is one that is popping up all over for different projects and different cards and things. Okay, we've seen this one, but we've not seen this one. And this one pairs with that piece right there. Isn't that pretty? That makes me think of the pansy paper a year ago that had the beautiful gingham checks in it. So that paper is only available while supplies last. And I'm assuming can be heard, but since I don't see anyone, yeah, there we go. I thought I better double check this. When you haven't done something for like 3 weeks, you kind of forget how to do it. All right, so then let me show you something else that is only available while supplies last. And that is the gold adhesive back swirls. Let me see if I can pull them up to my camera and see if you can get the detail in them. Okay, they are flat, which I really like, and they're all the same size. But they have a swirly design inside them that makes them just not be plain Jane little gold pieces. And they really have a nice shimmer to them because of the way that swirl is cut into them, okay? Those are only available while supplies last. So that's kind of one of those that I would, and you can start picking these up now. These were available November 1st, I believe. Let me get this back in here. I had to pull it out because they were adhered to that cardboard backing. Well, I'll deal with this later. I'll get it. And then you have a stamp set by itself that is greetings. This is called Frame and Festive. Frame and Festive is only available while supplies last. And it's Merry Christmas, fa la la, 'tis the season to be jolly, from our home to yours, have yourself a merry little Christmas. May this season be filled with joy and peace. I reverse that, from all of us, Noel. Now, you got to understand, as a music teacher, I loved all of the, any time that I have lines from songs, 'tis the season to be jolly, fa la la, have yourself. That's cute. I love those. So that had to come to my house. But then we get to the two pieces that are going to be available after January in the mini catalog still. And it is called the Framed Florets. And this one is wishes for a beautiful day. Thank you with all my heart. So lucky to call you a friend for a special person on a special day. And just a reminder, a little reminder that you're loved, which has some really cute and pretty sayings in it. And it has some beautiful floral pieces. But the stunner is all of the dies. So If you came late, guys, I'm not able to hear the comments or read the comments, so I'll have to come back and answer them accordingly, okay? The dies are called, let's get them. They are called framed florets, okay? And the dies create these framed images. This one, if you haven't seen that one out there, start looking for it, because this one here cuts hearts all the way through the paper. So then you can put another color behind the frame and pull up, and the hearts will all be visible. So it's really cute. This one here, I really love that it has the ridge and the detail here, but it also cuts out the oval in the middle. And I cut out one in silver and I cut one out in white because I'm gonna pair the white oval with the silver frame. So to give a little variety. These images, I believe here, this one will cut DSP paper. I think these also cut flowers in the DSP. And then we have another framed piece with all of the little detail cuts through it. Kind of a Victorian look to it. So this is a really pretty set. This will be available. So if you're looking at it and you're thinking, okay, I can only afford so much. I don't know that I want all that. Or I don't know that I need all that right now. Look at the things that are available only while supplies last, which is your DSP and the swirls and the frame festive. But I'm going to be truthful. Probably most of you already have your Christmas stamps that you've already picked. So you may not find this one to be one that's as needed as the music teacher here. Okay. So these are what we're doing. And we're going to work with this punch. And I don't remember the name of that punch. I think it's something about a triple punch. I don't know. But it's in the catalog. And it is a tricky one. Because everything, this piece right here, this one right here, really plays with you. Okay? So we're going to talk about how to cut this piece. So I am going to cut this piece by taking a pattern. I'm just going to make myself a pattern to have. 1, I'm going to make this corner 2, and I'm going to flip it before I cut it. This one is going to be flip 3, and this one will be 4. And let's see if I can get this to lay right, okay? So I'm going to take 1, and I'm going to go in. And then I'll show you what will happen if you don't lay it correctly. All right, so there's 1. And we have this curved image, and I want that curved image right here, this curved edge that curves out. I want it to stay every place on these insides, not this one. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this one. I'm gonna flip it over and cut 2. Fit it into the corner. And do this. And you know what? In case you haven't been with me before, on Monday mornings, I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants. I have an idea of what might work. I have it maybe kind of put in the head what I'm going to do, and maybe a few things pre-cut, pre-punched, pre-dyed. But I can't guarantee it's always going to work. I make mistakes. And this is called crafting on the seat of my pants. Crafting on the fly. So there it is. And we were able to get the same. See if I can find a dark. Yeah, no, that's too busy. Here, if I put this here, can you see how this curves out, this curves in, this curves in, this curves out? And I want that effect every time I turn it. And if I don't pay attention to what I'm doing, everything will be reversed. Okay, so now I come back. It says flip 3. Still got it going. So now this one lines up perfect. Curve, curve. And then I'm going to do 4, and there is no flip. I just put it in. Okay. By following those directions, 1, flip for 2, flip for 3, and then 4, the same as 1. So they're diagonal, you get the same effect. Let's reverse it. Let's go flip 1, 2, 3, flip 4. And it should be the reverse. I don't know. I haven't tried it. And just in my head, I'm doing it. Okay, so flip 1. Okay. You know what? It's going to work because my frame, my piece here is... No, it's still going to flip. It's going to make it different because I went with the square. All right, flip 2. I do not flip. I just leave it. Yep. Flip 3. Do not flip. Flip 4. Okay. And even though it may not look it, it is different only because if I had it this way, it's really weird. I don't know how else to describe it to you. I just know that if you use this punch, you got to practice. You have to practice, and that flipping is very, very key to this. Okay, so I'm going to take my frame, and I am going to start off with a back piece on my frame that is 5 by 5. Okay? And then I took a piece of silver. Now this is gold, but I'm using it as a demo. This is gold, but it is 4 1/8. And then I took a piece of DSP, and this is 4 by 4. Okay? All right, so I'm gonna go on ahead, and I'm gonna use this one, and I'm gonna pull this back. Oh, I know, it's the whole flipping. If you don't flip, that gives you the different image. I had to figure that out in my head still. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna take the 2 and I'm gonna cut them together. I am not taking a chance on messing that up. So I'm gonna take 1, and I have pushed the DSP into the corner with the silver or with the gold. I'm gonna put it in here, and I have cut it, okay? Now, this goes into the corner for 2, but if you remember, I flipped it. So we flip it, make sure that corner is there. Okay. Come down here, make sure it's into the corner and everything's straight, and I had to flip it. And that leaves me with the 4th corner. And I'm gonna come down, make sure everything's even, and it does not flip. And by cutting them at the same time, and by simply moving that corner in, I'm able to get a nice framed piece. That gold is visible behind it, and it just really sets it off, okay? So this one's gonna have to be done again, but this one's gonna have to be done with the poinsettia paper. So I will be doing that later in the week. All right, so I have already taken this piece here, and this was my 5 by 5. And I'm gonna go on ahead. I like my frames, I like the paper to be on the outside. I want my frames to have it so that it can be dimensional, the images, and the glass is not flattening it. So my paper is always on the outside of the mirror, or out of the glass. So I took that silver piece that was 4 1/8 square, and then I took this DSP piece that was the favorite right here, and it was 4, And I cut it just like I showed you with the punches and the flipping of the gold and the red, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go on ahead and put those together. And while I do that, I want you to note that I also took the time to cut out the frame in the middle. I was not gonna waste that whole section of gold or silver. I'll do the same with the gold one. And because I don't see a tape runner here, I am going to put this together with some glue dots. I grabbed everything, but you know, grabbing everything doesn't always work. You always leave something behind, and that's okay. So we're gonna go on ahead and we're just gonna put some glue dots here. I can come back later if I wanted to, but I think it will be fine. I'm gonna just put some glue dots around the outside edge. So how many of you will begin to put your Christmas trees up soon? I don't know, depending upon how I'm doing here. I normally have it up by Thanksgiving, but I don't know, it may be going up during Thanksgiving. Our kids are not gonna be around. They're going to the in-laws this year for Thanksgiving. We have seen them all. By the time we get back from Branson with them next week, we will have been together, and it's time to share. You know, you guys share. So I think Jim and I are just having a quiet Thanksgiving, which is actually kind of nice. So that may be when the Christmas trees go up. All right, so I'm gonna put that on. Make sure before you put it on that it lines up correctly. I had it backwards. I moved it, and when I did, see, it didn't line up. I don't know if you can see it, but it's not the same correct here, okay? So make sure it matches. Give yourself a little bit of edging, just so that that silver frame is visible and you have it pretty centered from one side to the other. I can live with that. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to take my oval, and again, I told you I cut it out with white, and then I cut it out with silver, and I'm going to put my silver frame around the outside, and I'm going to use dimensionals to hold that in place. So let's go on ahead and turn it over. As long as I get everything to line up here and hold it still, we are good. Pull out my dimensionals. And what I'm going to do is just lay those dimensionals right along the cut line of the oval silver piece and the white. And that way it'll anchor it in there and keep everything attached to each other. One more, and then one in the middle. Okay, I have already stamped it. It says, "May this season be filled with peace and joy." I deliberately offset it. I'm going to also offset it on my frame, like so. Because I'm going to take flower piece, one of the floral pieces that they have here, and I'm going to put it on this side. And I wanted to have it so that the edge of the floral piece and this are somewhat centered, instead of having this centered in the middle. Center it in the middle, and then the flowers way over to the edge. I didn't want that. So I'm centering the whole item as one unit, okay? All right, let's finish coloring. I did some of the coloring ahead because you guys didn't need to see me do colors. You already know how I can color. Let's just pull a piece of paper here. I still like that dots. And I'm just going to use some red blends These are the real red. I'm gonna put dark in the middle on the lines. If you don't use your blends very often, or if you use them and you say, gosh, they don't last any time because the tips are bad, it's because you're pressing too hard, people. Your blends are not like magic markers where you can really press, okay? They're meant to be just floating. So you just kind of take the tip and you just kind of lightly touch. You don't have to press in any way, shape, or form. The pressing of it will actually flare the ends. I prefer the pen end. I have a lot of people in my Stampin' Up! Group, they prefer the other end, which is fine. But to use that other end, you really have to stay on the tip. This one has already been flared enough that they've pressed on it and it's starting to turn. You have to stay on the tip of it to get it to color. And what's going to happen is the next time people use this, they're going to say, well, that's not working right. So they're going to press harder and that tip is going to go bad. So really stay on the tips and be very careful. Don't put pressure. And yes, do I still have to replace them? Of course I do. They're consumables. You know, that's just fact of life. How many boxes of colors did we all go through as kids? And wasn't it always nice to get that brand new box of colors? Yo. Okay, so I'm gonna finish this up and we're gonna put my frame together. I think this week I am gonna work with frames, but keep in mind, everything that I do, you can use and make this a card. Maybe not a square. Maybe you have to change the dimensions of my silver piece and my DSP so that it's not a square, it's more of a rectangle for the front of the card. But what we taught you with the punch, it still lays in, it still is the still thing. It still has to happen that way. Okay? All right, so I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna build my frame, and before you know it, I'm going to have my frame done. So I'm going to go on ahead, and I have to put some more glue dots on here. I may run out of glue dots. That's a good feeling, too. I love it when I run out of dimensionals and glue dots, and I can throw that piece of paper away. I love that. And then you can get fresh glue dots, just like you get fresh. You know what? Let's put dimensionals on this instead. Why put it flat? Just so like you get new fresh crayons. On down here. Move this one over. Put more in here because I am going to put some pressure on it to get that other piece in there. On it. So, okay. So let's turn this over. I want my paper going this way. I'm going to turn these over and pull the tabs. And we will be close to being done. So I know that a bunch of you already have your Christmas cards. Maybe they're not completely put together, but they are stamped, they are cut, stamped, and ready to sit down and do that. And they are done. And that's a good feeling too, because we did that over 4 months of Christmas card class. So I needed about 1/2 inch, which is about what I'm gonna have, 1/4 of an inch, not 1/2 inch. Here, here, and here. And by the time I put this on here, that'll be about what we have too, but I think if I can pull it up. I didn't press, so I'm hoping I can pull it. I'm gonna come over just a hair. Okay. And then when we put this here, that will fill it up. I'm going to put dimensional only on the outside of this. And then I'm going to put glue dots on the inside. And that way, when I put it on the frame, it will be level. And I need to make sure I have 2 glue dots left for what I'm doing. Okay, I can go one more. All right, we pull these. So, if you like to do little gifts for people, especially at the holidays, but you know, you want to do multiple gifts for family, but you don't really want to spend a lot of money, get the frame. Try a frame, go to the Dollar Tree, go to the Dollar General, find some frames that are relatively cheap, and then start removing the inside. I have a gal in one of my groups, she even buys pictures that are in it. I mean, they're not just picture frames, they are framed pieces of art ready to just set up on the wall or hang on the wall or set up on a desk or something. She just buys those. She said, it's cheaper for me to go buy that than to buy one that is a frame for me to put stuff in. She yanks the stuff that's inside it out and she does what she wants with it. Oh gosh, is that gonna look pretty. All right, so now we pop these off. You can do a frame piece, do this, and you could do one for Christmas and one for, say, with snowmen, that it could go up for January, February, and do one with pretty flowers for spring. And you can get 6 months out of that frame and have a relatively cheap gift because you're sitting there using all of your papers and dies and things for the gift, and then you're using the expensive part, the frame, you're just changing out the paper. All right, this I may have to plop this up so I can see. Okay, there's that. And then I wanted something, I would love to have done the pieces that come with the fitting florets, these pretty little gold things, but I use silver. So I'm gonna go with these. These are the red and green adhesive back pearls. And they're from the they're from the Christmas catalog. But they really threw a lot of us because red and green, and do you see any red there? And everybody was like, there's no red. What did they do? Well, they're there. They're underneath, okay? The red are there. They're just underneath the little flippy thing. And these are soft succulent. And I'm going to make my flower circles right there. And another one. And I have 2 more to go. And then I'm going to put a touch of red on these. There it is, guys. That's my frame for the my 5x5 frame. And I will leave that out. And then after Christmas, I'll sneak back in here and do something like a snowman or whatever, unless I really love it, at which point it may stay up there till March. Who knows? Who knows at all? You know, remember me? Pansies were made early in the spring, and I loved them so much, I just left them. So, I hope you enjoyed that. Think about it. Go to your dollar store, do some looking at some of the frames. Oh, I forgot. I had 2 more pieces. Let's get those on too. This was one of the die cut pieces that just it cuts out the outline of the stem. Give me a little more silver here. So we're going to slide that under like that. Oh yeah, that's nice. And another one here. So tomorrow night is Tuesday. Pam and I will be back on our private group that we do. And if you're not a member of that group and want to be, just let us know. We'd love to have you join us. I'm always approving people. I had a couple last night that I approved. I don't know that I like that. I think that's coming down here. I think we're doing this instead. Okay. So we'll be back Tuesday. I'm doing a framed piece tonight with a group, and so I may just share that with you tomorrow night. And then on Wednesday, I'm doing a special Facebook Live. I have a friend here in Macon, Missouri, who is working on raising funds to participate in a mission trip with her company, Poet Bioethanol Processing. And I agreed that we would just do a kit. We're doing 2 kits and offering those kits, and all of the commissions from those kits go directly to her on her funds. So we're going to show you how to put the kits together. They're very easy. They're very fun. Any crafter can do them. And she is all about Christmas like me. She loves Christmas. So I thought this was an appropriate one for her to come and help me with. So we'll be doing 2 Facebook Lives. Tomorrow in the private group page, and on Wednesday it'll be back on this page here. All right? Take care. God bless. And have a great day. Bye-bye.